Yikes. Hi, friends. Got a solstice coming up here. And just grounding down for a much needed break. So I got Kim Cross's archetype card deck. I actually got it as part of my reading requirement for my graduate program for depth psychology, creativity, and I guess the woman Kim Cross that did that deck graduated from the program I'm in, which is kind of fun because I've been using her decks for probably since they came out. So I've been doing this practice this year where for the most part I'm only using candlelight at night. It's kind of because I love it and I'm just obsessed with candles and I'm always burning candles, but I'm just embracing that at this point in my life. And then it just kind of naturally started happening. And then when I turn on the lights, it was not pleasant. So I've just embraced it. And in my previous place too, I was pretty much only using candlelight, and I just love it. I just love it. I think there's something to it too with, brain stimulation and sleep, and I'm definitely always kind of playing with ways so that I don't get insomnia. I've had to stop having caffeine after noon for sure. Okay, so I want to play with let's do Solstice. Let's do 3-card archetypes. And I'm not familiar with these cards yet, so then we'll play off of those. With the tarot, I've got the good tarot here. I've got a little mini deck. My big deck got stolen out of my car, so I went to order another deck and they were discontinued. Alright, 3 cards please for the winter solstice, for the collective energies, angels, guides, spirits. What messages do you have for the collective this time? Let's see how many this is. Shapeshifter. That's a little more than I wanted to do. We'll probably put these back, but I'll show them to you. The ocean. The mystic. The maiden. And the kiss. Interesting. I'm going to put those back. We'll see if any of them come back. 3 cards, please. Okay, first card. The underworld. Gotta love that. Apparently I don't want to get too many because I have to read from the book because I don't know them. And we can do some intuition too a bit. Next card, please. You want me to do another card? Maybe we just do one. Oh, there's 2. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to navigate this. It looks like Taros and the Flame. I do feel like I want to read, so they're pretty short. The Underworld. Let's see if I can read that. 10LV3. really sure what the O is. Is it 50? No. Is it 20? Okay, the underworld. Let's see if this helps. I'm blind! Okay, maybe the candlelight isn't the best for reading books. Here, I'm gonna get this. Okay, here we go. This is no time to mince words. The archetypal territory of the underworld is fraught with nightmares, suffering, and pain. It is the darkest shadow realm, which we try vigilantly to avoid or deny at any cost. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into the depths through the disturbing dream images, unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, and ultimately death. Not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives its dangerous power. Traversing it forces us to bow humbly to the greater forces that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated. Take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone from time to time, making us deeper friends, more intimate partners, soldiers of light. Amid our shadowy times, facing darkness and choosing light is the most profound calling of all. When light, bravery, depth, facing the deepest fears. When dark, denial, suppression, evil, unconsciousness. I feel like we always get these really heavy collective readings. One of the earliest stories of record is that of the goddess Inanua. Inanua's descent. Turns out descending into the underworld is as old as time itself. All right. Well, that's dark. Okay, this is... These are the initiations. This one is from the initiations part of the deck. There's like personalities or like beings, and then there's places, and then there's tools. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this cool like dragon eye looking thing. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of a clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mystic time. And it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. Alignment, ease in decisions and actions. When dark, fighting against time. Interesting. I think I have things to say about these. To say about that at least. I've definitely been moving more and more into like, I mean, the best way to say it is like just this presence in terms of making decisions. It's literally like, it feels very moment to moment right now in my life, my decisions. And it does feel like big trajectory changes are going to happen in this window of time, particularly for me right now. There will be different projections of timelines, and it seems significant. Like each decision I make right now is really like setting up, a split between 20 different projections of 20-year timeline. Okay, the flame. In Sanskrit, the word for fire is Agni. The ancient yogis saw this flame as the center of the Andaman and believed it to be responsible for our vitality. When it is lit, we are connected to our purpose and sense that life is a sacred gift. It is said that those who cannot see the sacred around them have let their inner flame go out. Think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten and protect the flame, no matter how harshly the wind around you blow. It could be an inner archetype that begs you to light its wick. It is likely that the poet, the mystic, the shaman would call to you with the language of the flame. I'm getting, we've been in this like big transition for a while. This has been like a constant theme with all the collective readings, and there's a long timeline of as we resolve certain karmic energies of reclaiming, I want to say, like our communal service aspects, like what we bring into the world. And certainly that feels to be really, it's like all these readings that I'm doing, they're all very earth, they're all very pentacle, they're all very vocation, creativity. It's really this like collective shift into each person kind of really tuning into their own creative centers and authenticity, and really contributing their authentic part to this like puzzle that needs each of our parts, right? And so I think the long game is like we're all intuitively acting kind of moment to moment, synchronistically aligning with intention, and allowing kind of the magic of the right people, the right things to come together, and us all kind of owning our aspects and our gifts, and then us working together to kind of really create this very synchronistic and symbiotic and I want to say like autonomous sovereignty of will. So like, it's not like I gotta go get a job and pay the bills and whatever. And I feel like AI has something to do with this. I do think that AI is going to change the face of what we call work and what we call our day to day. Like I just don't think our lives are going to be recognizable to what they were as we develop this technology, and obviously it's going to have its challenges. and at a collective level, I trust that the what's coming in is a tool, um, and we can use tools to hurt ourselves, and can and do, and that is, um, has the potential. I mean, they have the potential to extinguish ourselves with our tools, but we also have the potential to evolve our consciousness, evolve our culture. And I think one of the gifts and one of the projections of the way that things are changing is that the way that we do work and the way we show up to work, I mean, I think it's going to be, as mechanical systems are not done by humans, right? As we can take those mechanical things that need to be done and program them in different ways, it's just a matter of time. um, we really get to focus on the things that make us human. Those are going to be the things that are valuable that we can create, um, that AI can't do, right? And so I think more focus on creativity, on poetry, on art, on evolving consciousness, on evolving the science of consciousness, um, understanding our brains, like understanding the universe. Like I think just like the Industrial Revolution opened up certain aspects of our culture that weren't necessarily accessible before because we had access to certain basic baseline resources at a mass level. I think this is going to be exponential to that. So that's kind of where it's like kind of pretty clear to me, honestly, in terms of where things are going. And I know a lot of people are freaked out, and that's part of the it's part of the template right now in terms of, um, it's hard for us to make changes, and it takes time to adjust. It takes time to learn. When we started the Industrial Revolution, I mean, like there was just awful things happening. Like we had to come up with regulations so that we weren't like, making our children into slaves. And there was like some regulation, like when people were building and people would just fall and die, and they would just pour the concrete over them, like shit like that. There was a lot to iron out, right, as we advanced in technologies and cities and things like that. And we're still navigating and oscillating and calibrating, and will be forevermore, in terms of wherever we're at. So it's not to deny the dangers or the imbalances, but to me, it's always about focusing on what's here for us. How do we use it? How do we show up to it? And how do we focus our energy towards the things that we want, period? How do we plant the seeds of the life and the thing and the cultures that we want? And, I joined this graduate program, and honestly, like, with the career that I have, it doesn't necessarily make sense, but when I tune into like kind of why I'm being guided this way, I think I'll still have a skill set and a contribution in the design world, but in a very, again, in a very on the human side, on the hand holding side, on the communications between beings, right? And maybe guiding the AI process and guiding the visuals on that. But I do think that the work that I'm doing now with architecture design is going to be, again, unrecognizable in a completely different industry. And so I'm just following my impulses, like second by second, right? Like this time card. I was just looking at that flame. And then this underworld, it's like, there's definitely a death process happening for this stuff to be born. And there's a grieving process within that. And so really this kind of center card of the Kairos, or however you pronounce it, is really asking us to be present with each moment and each potentiality and each choice in each moment, and understanding that we have the present, what's in front of us, right? Not the news, not the, we have whatever moments and choices and life life choices in front of us. Each moment and each decision matters. um, it matters. It's a whole trajectory each moment, and there's guidance in each moment, and there's always this moment, right? And as things might break down, and I don't know if there's some like bigger catastrophe that's on the horizon of this solstice energy, but there's definitely an overall, like, I was looking at like gosh, Marianne Williamson, she was saying like right now it's time to be a death doula as well as, a birthing doula, essentially. We're in the process of both right now, for sure. And you don't have death without birth. When you die in this body, you're born into spirit, and when you're born into this body, you're not necessarily dying of spirit, but you don't die without, or you don't, birth and death are just part of the same equation. Okay, I'm just gonna do one card for this underworld. Or two. What do we got here? 7 of materials. And what do you know, the death card? So the 7 of materials is all about, you can't really tell from this deck, but it's all about taking a look at what we have, the seeds we have planted, the crops we have cultivated. And with this underworld and with this death, kind of sandwiching it, it's definitely like, well, let's examine these things that we're investing our time in that are not fruitful for us, and let those go. And I'll just give like a basic example that's probably relevant in most people's lives. Like, if you were to track how much time you spend on something like social media, or I've seen people like play games on their phone, which boggles my mind, honestly. Like, I don't understand how you can spend hours playing a game on your phone when you're an adult, but no judgment. I just don't get it. Or how much time do you spend watching TV? And what is that giving you? How much time do you spend eating shitty food, or like shopping for shitty food, or cooking shitty food, or, it's like there's an assessment of these things that are just like not really working. And culturally and collectively, I'd say, we're putting a lot of our attention into distractions and escapism and addiction, essentially. Addiction to sugar, food, alcohol, things that are tuning us out of our body instead of tuning us in. And all of these things can be used in ways that we tune in. So whether it's sex or media or social media or food, all those things are essential and beautiful things and tools in our life, right? But that there's this seven of Pentacles is asking you to look at where you're investing your time and what the results are. And these death cards around it are saying like, let's evolve past these things that we're giving tons of time and energy to that aren't evolving our lives. I love a good TV series. I love a good movie. I love, enjoying wonderful foods and sex and all of that. But, or being playful, sometimes playing a game, sure. but unconsciously giving our life energy to it for disproportionately large amounts of time, I would say, look at what you're cultivating. Where are you spending your time? What are you actually cultivating your time? Is it negative thought patterns? Is it, so on and so forth? Is it, criticizing your partner or anyone else for that matter, or complaining about your job, or, so much can change when we choose consciously to invest our time in words, thoughts, actions, and intentions. Okay, I'm going to get a card for the Kyros. Beautiful. Knight of Emotions and the Magician. Yeah, so, this card really had this vibe of really being in the present moment. We have this Knight of Emotions. So this is basically like a communication of, and a movement of, and an offering of moving from the emotional body. And so one of the ways that we can gauge if something is a good investment is our emotional body. I'll give a basic example. So if we're investing in the thought that I'm not good enough, my body's not good enough, my job isn't good enough, my income's not good enough, my car isn't nice enough, my partner's shitty, when we're investing in these thoughts, our body is letting us know through feeling like shit that this is not a good investment. When we have feelings of excitement, of love, of compassion, of peace, of sometimes joy, we don't need to be joyful all the time, but at least peaceful, content, compassionate. Like, these are indications that the things that we're thinking about or the things that we're investing in are the right, or the direction that is constructive for us. I don't want to say right. And then we have this magician, which I just feel it just is kind of reinforcing this energy of being conscious manifestors. We use all four elements here with the power of belief. We use water, we use the emotions, we use air, we use logic and thought. We use pentacles, earth, practicality, the resources that are here in front of us right now, which we all have something right in front of us, the ground under our feet. And then we have our fire, right? We have our drive, our inspiration, our creativity, our sexual energy. We have these four elements, and when we combine that with the power of belief, this is how we manifest our lives. Like, what we are living now is what we've manifested through our beliefs, thoughts, and actions. This is how we're manifesting, right? And so there's this really poignant center creation energy. Like, we are here now, and we are working with what we have, with the logic we have, with what is pulling us in, what's exciting us, what's bringing energy through our body, right? What makes sense, working with what we have, right? All those things. Let me just do one for the flame again. We have this flame, which is kind of a continuation of that energy. Clarifiers cards for the flame, please. Three of Inspiration and the Eight of Voices. So two very different cards. I feel like they're almost giving like a contrast. You know, how do I say this? So you don't move towards a new revolution of like sovereign embodiment, like a whole new template of embodied, aligned, on purpose. You know that you don't shift into that from where we've been without like a push and pull. And so, if we're not living this life that is kind of what is naturally innate in us, and we're reclaiming that. Sorry, I have a cold. It's because we've had a fear template implanted at some point that diverted us from that, right? So a shame template or a fear template, or here's what we do to make money, or here's how we survive, or that's kind of weird, or, you're not going to fit in if you do that. So whatever it is that diverted us culturally from family, whatever it is, we're gonna have to confront that. Whatever it is that has been held us back in the past. If we're gonna move past the threshold, we're gonna have to confront the things that have created this threshold, and whatever the reason is that we're not there, 20 years ago. And so there's this Three of Wands where it's like, let's go. And then there's this Eight of Swords, right? That's like, here's all the reasons that I can't. Here's all the people that don't want me to. Here's all the thoughts. Here's all the whatever. Here's all the limitations. And so we're confronted with that when we have the flame coming through. We're ready to go. And, we're getting ready to go on a big trip. Like, it's natural for us to be like, oh, do I have my phone charger? Do I have my, is that taken care of? Or, is my kid going to be okay when I'm gone? Like, so this is what comes up with that. Okay, and then I'm going to use my good tarot to just throw some clarifiers over the top here. Let's see what happens. Page of Fire, Ten of Earth, the Call. Anything else? Angels, guys, spirits, any other messages for this collective reading? We have the Sun at the bottom, which is like the most amazing card, like the most brightest, happiest, free. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, Five of Water. We have, Eight of Pentacles, the violin, and the earth energy. That's like cultivating your skill, getting mentors, practicing, moving, working. Again, there's something this call around the Pentacles energy for the collective that's been a big theme since COVID. Like we're shifting the whole thing. Five of Water. This is a card of sorrow. Feeling left out. Four of Earth. This is holding on. Ten of Water. This is a wish fulfillment. The Fool. Yeah, that goes with kind of our magician energy. We have Ten of Earth. We have the Ten of Earth and the Ten of Cups with the Sun on the bottom. These are wonderful cards. This is wish fulfillment. This is legacy. This is moving towards an abundant life, and that's coming in with work, loss, fear, holding on, moving from faith and not knowing, not having a projected path, making it up as you go. We have the call, which is the judgment card. This feels like the overall energy. This is the call energy. Transformation right here over the death card. We've got death over death popping out here in this underworld over here. And Page of Fire kind of coming, coming in with this inspiration, this magician, this call energy, this full energy. Ten of Earth, I'm hearing you have what you need. You have what you need. You don't need to wait anymore. Like, you just start. You have what you need right now. There is no such thing as getting there. Right now, it's just you have what you need, you take the next step. You have what you need, you take the next step. You have what you need intellectually. You have what you need experientially. You have what you need financially to take the next step. I think I'm going to leave it there. Happy Solstice. And Merry Christmas. Am I allowed to say that? Happy Hanukkah. Whatever floats your boat. I hope you get some time off, and Happy New Year. I hope you get some time off I hope you get some, chance to be in solitude, and stillness. It's a beautiful time of year to do that. And obviously to be with family and loved ones and friends, and to cook and to make things. I love to make gifts, even if it's just like simple candles or a simple meal or a simple batch of cookies or something. Just that process of making things. I love wrapping. Wrapping is so fun. Like, I love to use old fabrics or scraps or things that, aren't being used, or scarves I haven't worn in a decade, or I was using these old vintage belts that were in my closet last year that I never wear to wrap around these like fabric scarf. Anyway, I just love getting creative and making things. So I hope you have some spaciousness, and even if you have all the things, I hope you can commit to understanding this time as not pressure, right? As that you are in charge of this. You're in charge of how much you say yes to. You're in charge of your boundaries. You're in charge of also being in that fullness and still being still and not rushing, and being centered and at peace and enjoying what's actually in front of you. So wish all of that for all of you. Happy Solstice.